Dun, 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 dun.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Doing very good, thank you, Sally. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm excited. We are back again, and we
We
leave
are.
things in a very, very interesting spot that finally we are very close to our, let's
Our
say,
goal. Our
target.
goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So welcome,
And
folks, to Full
yeah,
Stack for Noobs, where Sally and me, we have been having a lot of fun on a journey to design, build a full stack application and deploy it on the cloud. Sally, tell us what we built.
so we have been building a Kiro coding challenge that is for developers out there who are joining AWS booths and so on to learn more about the experiences that we provide with Kiro and everything. And we wanted to keep it more developer oriented. So we, we have been creating a game that would test their knowledge about a certain technology, and they would gain points and so on. And we would have a leaderboard and everything in place to be able to make all work. And one interesting topic that I shared with you as well, Rick, like last week, uh, I got the confirmation that we can actually see this in action in
Yeah.
Italy in 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah,
No pressure then. No pressure.
yeah, exactly. 9th of April, we will be at JS Day Italy, and there we will have a booth, and we would have the first
Oh my
actual.
goodness, this is fantastic news, right?
Yeah,
Which means that we need to focus now on TypeScript, right, and JavaScript questions.
exactly, exactly.
That's gonna be our number one goal.
You know,
I
that
never thought
makes
I'd hear,
me
I never
very
thought I'd hear myself
sad.
say that.
Yeah, that makes me very sad,
No, this is all good. This is all good, and
Yeah,
I wish I could be there. You know, it's going to be an
yeah,
awesome experience. And if you do happen to go to JS Day in Italy
yeah,
on the 10th, when this new experience is available to you,
yeah.
have a go, and then please let Sally and myself know what you thought. How could we make it better, right?
Yes.
Because you know we have been on an amazing journey. We've learned lots of things along the way, but we can always improve, right? And so we'd love to have your feedback to make it an even better experience. We did this last year with the Amazon Q Developer Challenge. We got a
Yeah,
whole bunch of feedback and learning from that. We've fed that all into this,
yeah.
so hopefully it's going to be closer to what people want. But of course, you know, we can always do better. That's what customer obsession is all about.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's very exciting because right now when we are thinking about it, we are only barely scratching the surface of how the experience would be like. One of the things
Indeed.
that I feel excited about is like I want to drive something. I want to drive a different approach before we move forward with like recap and everything. I wanted to ask you this. So like since this is a, let's say, short notice, we won't have dedicated laptops. But I was thinking, since we can throw this
Oh, yeah.
front end away, why don't people use their own laptops to do the challenge?
Totally.
So
Absolutely. I mean, because all they need is the access code, right? They register
exactly,
the
exactly.
URL.
URL and the access code.
I mean, this is
And
it. This is it. We can effectively let
yeah, we already
anyone pick
fixed
their
it.
own
We
device.
already fixed. We
Yeah,
already
yeah.
fixed
But
the
I guess one of the things
accessibility.
though, Sally, is that you know what we say is that in the past we've had laptops there so people can use Kiro that's installed on those laptops so that they can see the value of these AI coding assistants to help them. So I
Yeah,
guess what we'd need to make sure that they were able to do is install, you know, Kiro CLI to help them with a similar,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I was
Um,
thinking maybe we can have a link for the folks who doesn't have it to download
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You
definitely. I mean, we can
know?
make that as part of the instructions text, right? So we could do
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
You know, get them to register for their builder
Yeah,
ID, so they can create an account, quickly get started. Maybe even
exactly,
send them to a video on how to bootstrap it, and then they can come.
exactly.
They can go away and do that, and then do the challenge. That's awesome news, and I think yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good idea because we can still have the leaderboard right displayed. So
exactly.
the leaderboard is still going to be there. So we'll be seeing people, and obviously we've designed this, you know, in a way
Yeah,
that you know, lots of people can do it at the same time, right? So
exactly. That is what we wanted
excited.
to do. That is what we were focusing on. So I'm very excited about it.
Oh,
So, do you want to
fantastic.
do the recap of what we have done?
Yeah, so what we've done so far, folks, we're in episode 18, I think. So in the
Yeah,
previous episodes, we've gone from designing it and intent to building the front end. And then from the front end, we then built the back end APIs. After we had the back end APIs done, we then stitched the front and the back end together, made sure it works. Along the way, we've kind of like went through lots of different sort of side quests
Yeah.
and identified challenges. But where we were at the end of the last episode 17, was we had created some CD code to deploy this on AWS. And part of that was including the design of the approach of how we were going to do that. So we have multiple stacks. We're using EC2 to host the backend. And the main driver for that was simplicity around how we're running the sandbox containers for evaluation. And then the front end is going to be what we talk about today, right? So we'll be deploying today through CDK the front end. So Sally, how are we going to deploy the front end?
So like what we have done is like we were thinking about like using two ways, either like Amplify hosting, or like we were thinking maybe allowing CDK to create our infrastructure as well. One interesting thing, or because like last Saturday I had a talk and I actually asked about this right now. It's crazy right now. Let me share my screen so you can see my ID is like blaming me for not taking a look at the project for a while.
Well, it was last week.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is saying like
too long.
you neglected me constantly.
Yeah, well, to be fair, folks who might be tuning in, Sally and me, we've been very good at not actually changing the code between episodes, even though it's very tempting. Maybe if you can make it slightly bigger, the text, Sally, so we can see it.
Yes.
If you can zoom in.
It says Prime, you're unable to properly load the project, blah, blah, blah. Let me turn it off. And
that's interesting. So, Kiro ID is being updated all the time. So could that be maybe an update that has caused that glitch maybe?
Yeah, could be. I opened the demo from my previous talk. We have a lot of things. All right, so.
Is that your own picture?
This one? Yeah, I took it from my helicopter,
Damn.
Like,
note to self, make sure that when I go to Berlin, I ask for
with
a
all
ride.
the money that I have.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking, hey, why not?
You're a man of many means, That's definitely within the realms of you having a helicopter, I think.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
So do it again. So why is it saying Java source? Where is that getting it from?
Yeah, extensions, blah blah blah. It is.
Did they disappear now?
Yeah, one of the extensions is causing it trouble. Do I have a Kotlin or Java? Maybe this is that one.
You can search, just disable it for the moment.
Yeah. Maybe it's that one. Did you see yesterday there was an attack to Axios?
Yes, you said. Yeah, I heard you say about this. Yeah, so Axios, if you're using that library, folks, remember to review which version and pin it to the right non-runnable version.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Our favorite Tobias is on the stream. Hello, Tobias. I hope you're well.
Hey, good to see you, man. All right, so here's what I will do. First of all, I will enable the AWS MCP because I want to ask a question. What is the best? Like, what does AWS recommend?
So I guess what we have to do as well, remember that the requirement we have, Sally, is that we need to be able to pass in the backend URI. Okay. Yeah. So I know we thought about doing that through an environment variable. Yeah. So as part of the prompt, we probably need to make sure that we specify some of the constraints we have.
Yeah. You know what? Why don't we just tell this to you? Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. Good effort.
Yeah,
good effort.
2:11, like 11 minutes of my
PB
of my goal, but still happy to finish it.
I think it's amazing, Sally. Well done for doing that.
Yeah. So I would say I want to deploy the front end now. However, I need to make sure that.
So should we be more specific? Should we want to deploy the front end on AWS?
Yeah.
Because again, we need to make sure that the agentic AI knows enough to know which MCP server to use. Okay.
Make sure that the environment variables coming from the infrastructure is properly addressed.
I say probably. I say configured. So
Yeah, configured.
configured. And we should probably try and dig up what that environment variable was, because I think you had it in the .env file, didn't you? Was it
Yes.
a .env file?
Yeah, it is in the .env over here.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this
The
is
beat.
the
Yeah.
API ACA URL.
Yeah. So maybe we just basically reference
Oh,
it in the .env file. So
yeah,
in brackets .env file, so it knows.
we have in .env the root directory. All right.
And remember, folks, if you're using these tools, make sure you add .env exclusions in your not only your git ignore, but also your Kiro ignore files, right?
Yeah. Because it is not part of it now, for example. And if I were to push this one, it was going to. I mean, luckily, it's just like the EC2 instance. We can just kill it.
Yeah.
But still, you never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. It's not, but just it's good to kind of get into the habit of these things, I find.
Yeah. I mean, every time there's a new security vulnerability now, people are always talking about it's because of AI and so on, and they forget about the human error part of it, which I was doing now.
Yeah. So I noticed it hasn't actually used the MCP server, right? Oh no, actually it's doing it now, is it? It's using the power, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it is using the AWS infrastructure as code, Kiro Power, that we have enabled.
Yeah, but you said you enabled the MCP server. It didn't look like it doesn't look like it used it.
Because I think Kiro Power has a higher priority than the MCP server, because Kiro Power is used in less of a context window.
Okay,
however,
that's good to know.
One of the biggest advantages of Kiro Power is it still has MCP servers inside it.
Yeah.
So it can call it when it's necessary.
Yeah, exactly. And
it
has this concept of progressive discovery, right? So that basically you don't have to give all the information at once, so you save on that context window.
Exactly.
So what's it come up with then? What's it saying?
So it says the front end is a Vite React project. This is what we know. So it will create an Amplify hosting stack that deploys the front end from GitHub repo, passes this as environment variable, and uses a proper build spec for the Vite project. The new Amplify stack, so it's going to create a stack, and it's going to use the L2 construct from CDK. Let's see if it's going to work. I don't know, because I don't know the state of it as how.
There's one thing I can see that might be missing on that on the output as well, and that is we need to make sure that it updates the security group, or that it thinks about the network connectivity between Amplify hosting and the backend EC2, right? API.
Oh yeah.
So we need to make sure that
as well.
we need to make sure that we prompt or ask it to think about that and how it would do that. So this is not the right CDK construct then.
It is not about being wrong. It's about the last. Okay. So this is. I didn't know this was out already. Okay, so
you can zoom in. If you can zoom in, because I can't quite see what you've got there.
Sorry. So decline.
There we go.
So you can see that the latest version has been published.
That's pretty recent.
Yeah, exactly. So I would go for it. I would use it. It is still an experimental package, but the Amplify and the CDK teams right now.
This is very much an experimental thing we're doing, Sally. So I say let's carry on the experimental vibe.
Yeah, let's do YOLO, but let's mention.
First of all, let's update the prompt. So let's say, for example, can you make sure that you've updated the security group so that the Amplify front end can connect to the back end?
All right.
And of course, one of the things, Sally, that we said we're going to try and do, is that if we get this up and running on a public URI, we're going to make it available, and hopefully folks can actually test it for us, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, we will be using completely different questions for JS Italy because obviously,
this is you'll use a completely different build as well. this is for like I would say for folks, I would give like a week for them to test it out. And yeah, if they see a problem or something, if they can just tag us or like send us a message or let us know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
So
what?
Sally,
I have a few extra AWS
you got
credits.
you
Maybe,
got some extra questions. So
maybe, no.
if you can
Yeah,
scroll up, Sally, because I
yeah,
just noticed something there. Okay, so it said there that a good call Amplify hosting serves the front end from CloudFront. The API requests come from the user's browser. So EC2 security groups need to allow port 5001 from anywhere, or at least the CloudFront APIs. Let me check a couple of things before start. So okay, so ideally we want it to come from the CloudFront APIs, right? IPs, not from the general user. Would that be right?
yes, because this is also the way that like we will be using it as if it's a gateway to our backend, right? Does it make sense?
Yep, it does.
All
Yep.
right.
Okay, so
So we are
think
here.
I think at least we can certainly go test it out and see how we get on. Because one thing that folks who maybe didn't tune into the last episode, what Sally did at the end of the previous episode was that we had the backend up and running on EC2, and then he configured his local dev setup to actually connect to the backend, and it worked fine. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, Sally, but you configure the security group to use your custom IP address, right? I don't know if your IP address is static or whether it changes every week like mine does. So that's something to bear in mind when we're going into this.
No, 100%, 100%. I was very careful, but like my IP address is also quite static as well.
Oh, okay, that's good. Right. Okay, so looks like we're ready to go for this. Are we? It's going to start building.
Yeah, it is already started with the deployments,
Oh, it has.
and continue with that one. It said, okay, like here's the plan. Like it creates these, and everything is right here.
Okay,
Quite exciting.
So it's interesting that it decided that it wasn't going to limit the security group port has basically been open wide open, right? It's not done the CloudFront thing, right? So,
yeah, it was like, you know what? I will do the CloudFront, but
so
sure.
I'm just that's something we should need to keep an eye on, right? So
Yeah.
fine for testing, but once we go beyond testing, we should go back and try and lock that down to the CloudFront IPs.
Even like per project or something, but yeah, absolutely, we should do it. So where are we at? Okay, it already created it. It says like one thing to keep in mind: deploy time token.
Oh yes, we know that. We do know that. That's the okay. So has it actually? So it's only built. It's only created the stack.
It didn't deploy it yet. So
okay.
Trigger the deployment then.
I do like how you talk to Kiro, Sally.
Yeah, I mean,
just like a normal team member, right?
Yeah, I wish I could send gifts, with proper token, proper like without spending a lot of token. Like there is this gift like, well, we are waiting, and I would just send this to that. Maybe that would be a nice side project next. Talk to the AI with that one. It says, okay, like why are we doing the?
Oh, it's calling the playwright. Why is it doing that?
Do we really need it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is to test out if the front end is working before deployment, but
oh, okay, right. Let's see what it says.
The user did not permit you to run this tool. Nope, not at all. I wish it is easier to talk to people like this as well,
Yeah, exactly. No judgment there, right? It's basically, but it's still doing it. Look, it's still.
Yeah. It is to like wait a bit, but you can wait without calling playwright. You can even do.
So it has updated the VPC stack. It looks like.
Yeah. Got it. My bad. Let me just wait. Now, one crazy thing that this does is like, so it starts this like with the sleep command. I tested it with multiple IDs, by the way. Like with sleep command, it's just like first it does 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, then like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes. It just goes double, double, double every time, and it's so crazy that
Right.
like if we don't stop it and say like, hey, like that's enough, it goes up until like whatever it is. And at one point I was like, 4 minutes, why am I waiting 4 minutes for a simple like deployment?
Yeah, I wonder why it does that actually. I guess that's something that maybe we could tweak through steering files, right? We could ask it to, if you're sleeping, always sleep for 5 seconds or 2 seconds or something like that, right?
Yeah, I can put it to the steering file, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've not tried doing that, but I'd imagine, because I know what you mean. The way that I think about this, right, is that if something happens in your vibe sessions consistently, right,
Yeah,
a paper cut, those are the perfect things to put in your steering files, right? Because
yeah,
that's how they basically address them right there at the root. Oh,
that's right.
okay. So we're
So
using the Amplify CLI to deploy this, are we?
I don't think so. No, no, no. We are using the Amplify L2 construct, and right now the deployment is happening from our pipeline as well.
Oh, okay.
But I'm asking for the current state of the deployment through Amplify, like inside AWS CLI.
Oh, I see. So basically, so effectively, CDK is deploying it, but you're using the CLI to
Yeah,
effectively track the status of it within the AWS environment, right?
yeah. So
Oh,
like
look,
it,
60.
yeah, it was like it was not
So
triggered, so
you
it
do
was
know
just
that you can edit the command, right? There's an edit button
yeah,
here,
yeah,
Lee. So we could edit the 60 and call it 60.
yeah. What you know, if I did my thesis, the proof would have been gone, you know, like it
Yeah,
was 30
yeah.
seconds, now it's 60. It will go until like 90, 120, and so on, you know, it will go higher. That's the crazy part to me. But let's see. I am very curious about the outcome. I
Well,
th-
you know, I expect like anything, right?
yeah,
There might be a few little niggles we need to walk through, but I think the point is once we address that and
yeah,
update the stacks, I think what will be interesting is if we delete everything and then
yeah,
and deploy everything from scratch, right? And see if
yeah,
we
yeah,
get working, because that's what I like to do. I like to test the immutability of the infrastructure by deleting and then
yeah.
reinstalling, because that's the way you know for sure, right, that it's working.
I do it all the time as well. And let's be honest, like we will do this very constantly as well. Like for
Yeah.
example, like I like what it is, but like I will ask why the deployment is not part of my pipeline.
Yeah, yeah. Because
There is
obviously,
a very
with
yeah,
the back end, we actually specified, didn't we, that we wanted the back end
yeah,
to deploy via the pipeline.
yeah. It's like I think it
Ah,
does what it's supposed to do, but it says like Amplify hosting has its own CI/CD. When you push the main branch, Amplify automatically triggers a build and deploy. But for example, here's the thing that I don't like. What if I change something on the back end and not on the front end? You know?
but that's okay. So the thing is, though, normally the trigger, right?
Yeah,
The trigger for kicking off the pipeline is a change to the source code. So as long as it's a different repo,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And remember, you in the pipeline for the back end, you put it to the game engine repo,
yeah,
which you forked from my repo, right?
yeah.
I guess your repo for the front end is different, isn't it? I don't know where that repo is on your machine, but I'm guessing it's a different
Yeah,
directory.
it's on GitHub as well. I think I like it's a private one right now though. Like it's not
Mm.
on the public.
So I think that would
Yeah,
probably be, you know, enough to keep them. I guess what's interesting is if you had a mono repo with both of them in, how you would then, you know, then you've got the
yeah,
risk of a redeployment. And I think that's where you got to understand the trade-offs, right? Maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to do a redeployment
yeah,
for both just to make sure that they are both working, right? But then you're doing needless change, right? When you
yeah.
do
I
that.
think I would keep like infrastructure backend and front end separated.
Yeah,
Like
that's
three
been my
different repos,
preference.
maybe in one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
always look
build
at it from the point of
succeeded.
view of you know, the rate of change and the idempotency of each of the environments versus change, right? So I think in our case, we've definitely got a good. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's running on Amplify.
Yeah.
It's running in actually. When I say it's running on Amplify, it's actually running in AWS Amplify.
Yes, exactly. So if I do admin,
Whoa!
What?
Fail to fetch.
Failed mixed content, but requested.
Are we running into cause issues?
No, I don't. No, it's not a cause issue, but it's actually the problem that we were expecting. Basically, the endpoint was not provided as a secure connection point. So that is why EC2 is not allowing us. So I would just say. And it was like, you're absolutely right. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Because when we were running locally, where everything was on HTTP rather than HTTPS, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But that should be a pretty reasonably straightforward update.
It's like classic mixed content issue. Amplify serves over HTTPS, but the backend is plain HTTP on the EC2 instance. Blah, 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 blah. The fix is to put it on. No, this is unnecessary.
So we need to put effectively a temp cert on the back end.
Oh my god, I don't want to use ALB like.
So I think the reason, I don't think that's the right approach either, right?
Yeah.
But let's think about this, right? So what are the approaches? So we've got effectively a Flask application that is available on an EC2 instance. Now, how would you? I mean, at the moment, what we're saying, we're asking to hit that directly, right? But that's not necessarily the best approach. So what he's saying here is stick it on ALB and then use ALB's easy kind of like certificate integration to change that, right? So it doesn't sound like it would be a massive thing, but it's additional cost, right? It's additional cost. So I guess the other approach we could take is just to because we've obviously got the back end already in the pipeline, we could make a change to the back end to make the Flask backend available on HTTPS, right?
Yeah, or it says like we could use CloudFront in front of the EC2. CloudFront provides a free CloudFront.net HTTPS domain, which will solve the mixed content issue without needing your own domain.
Right, but again, that's, I mean, so okay, let's walk through. So how would that work, right? How would that actually work? Because
like here's what I think that, like, in my opinion,
can we ask, because I'm not sure how that works. So can we ask Hero, if we use the CloudFront approach, can you provide more details as to how that actually would work, and then put in brackets like like a detailed walkthrough. Yeah.
I don't want it to go crazy and implement something,
You can just untick the autopilot mode, and that does it for you as well, right?
No.
Okay, so here's how the CloudFront. So it's going.
So let's go up.
Yeah. So basically, the CloudFront distribution in front of your EC2 instance, CloudFront gives you free domain with a valid AWS managed certificate. Okay, the Amplify front end would call this URL instead of. Okay, but so origin. Let's have a look. The origin is the public port. Okay, so effectively, all it's saying is we'll create a CloudFront distribution with the EC2 instance as the origin, and
we are just going to package the routing kind of approach, I guess.
Yeah, it's exactly in it, but it does, obviously CloudFront does provide some additional protections, right? So we can start to use things like WAF, and it has a bunch of built-in protections around DDoS as well.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a bad approach, right? And maybe it's easier than creating the ALBs and all that, and then us having to register a domain and all that kind of stuff, So yeah, so you know what? I think that could be. I think let's do it. I think let's go for the CloudFront approach then.
So it's like I really like things to be aware of as well that it created.
So because we've already got the stack already, the pipeline, right? So
yeah,
in theory, we can say, can you update the EC2 stack with this solution, or to implement this solution?
it's already asking us like, want me to go ahead and implement this? We can just say
Oh, it has.
yes.
Okay. To the point. I like that.
Yeah. Thank you very much, AI.
Yes. So now what we should see, okay, is we should see the EC2 stack change. Now, what's interesting, okay, is that this is now part of the EC2 stack as opposed to a different stack. Is that? Oh no, it's actually, look, CloudFront stack.
No, it's creating a CloudFront stack.
So okay, so that's good. So okay, so it's actually creating a new stack, which I'm guessing has a dependency on the output of the EC2 stack. I'm guessing, but it's hard to tell from the code. But I'm guessing that is going to be what its case. And what it should do is it should. Will it make some changes to the code? Actually, you know what?
Yeah, it does. It is doing it right now. The changes that it does is it is changing.
Is it changing the actual application? Is it changing the game engine code though? I don't think it is. Is it?
It is changing the infrastructure.
So it's just game engine. Yeah. So effectively, so what's happening is that the EC2 instance, the stack, and pipeline is going to remain unchanged.
Yes.
And this is literally just effectively a network routing change.
Yes, 100%.
So I guess the output of this then is going to be a different URI, which we have to then update the Vite address to, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, I guess another advantage maybe of this is allows us to control access between the Amplify and the backend through the CloudFront URI approach, right? So that's probably something that makes it easier for us to do this.
Yeah, I think it will definitely make our lives easier as well.
Okay.
But yeah,
there it is, Sleep 60.
No,
I mean, so I think the CloudFront distributions can take a while, can't they, to deploy, unless things have improved.
It is like, I think for this the initial one, yes, but afterwards, due to it's like, I would say it is one of those services that is making actually proper caching. So I think it's better than it was before.
Is this one of those things that might be actually easier to go and see in the console, the CloudFront distribution sort of like availability, or is it?
No. It's by the way, like now we need to deploy everything. So let me check currency more careful. I think now we need to delete everything and redeploy it. By the way.
Oh really? Why? Why?
Because the current deployment has like cross. What they call, I will use its terms, cross stack reference issue. So either it's going to redeploy everything from scratch to make sure everything is in place or not. But let me open my console as well, just in case you want to see something fun.
So if this should deploy after the EC2 deployment, right? Oh, I see. Because maybe before the pipeline, because we had a pipeline after the.
Yeah.
But I didn't think the pipeline had dependencies on the EC2 stack. Maybe I'm wrong.
But it should be, right? Because it is supposed to do. I'm seeing super weird accounts in my AWS account. Sorry, I got distracted. Same issue, CDK deploys the standard CDK fix for this to keep the old export alive temporarily. I need to update. If it is the issue, like, why don't we do? No, never mind. I was thinking out loud, and it doesn't make sense.
It's okay. That's right. So this is a safe space, Hallie. We can think crazy thoughts here.
No. Like, people come here to think that we know stuff, and if they see that only half of us know it,
we know stuff. We know stuff, but the thing is, though, our knowledge is imperfect, right? So it's always good to, it's one of the good reasons why you can collaborate and there we go.
Yes, Sleep 15. Come on.
I use that edit feature a lot more than I think I would, right? Long gone are the days where I just accept the command. I like to get in there and put my own stamp on it. But you know what? It doesn't. Even though I make the edits, it still doesn't learn or update the changes from it. So
they say AI is getting smarter and smarter.
Edit.
I would say 30. Let's meet in the middle.
Okay.
Not middle, but
just to recap then. So Sally, so we've asked Kiro to create a new stack that's going to implement the CloudFront distribution in front of the EC2 backend. And the reason why we're doing that is so that the amplifier's got an HTTPS endpoint. Something that maybe we should have thought about when we were doing the back end, maybe, creating a Flask with a certificate. I mean, it's good practice really to do that. So we should have done that really.
But like we have started off.
So is it actually redeploying everything from scratch now, is it?
Yes, it is. The crate is in process 180 seconds. Like, I'm not going to wait like 3 minutes. Let's do 90.
But sometimes these these stacks can take a while to start. I mean, I know we talked about this in a previous conversation. This is why I do like Terraform. Apart from the state file, right? But I do like the speed at which it deploys these things.
Shame.
Well, I'm being honest, Sally. I'm just telling you how I feel.
Shame.
It's a safe
I'm
space.
not doing this live stream for you, to be honest. I'm doing this live stream so you can.
But I do use CDK because I like the comfort of it being in my favorite programming language. Although normally when I'm doing this, I'm doing it in Python, right? But but yeah, I mean, I think that's why I keep coming back to CDK, right? Because it's code, and I can understand that better than HCL. So,
I mean, at least that is the case for me for 100%. But
actually, back in the day, I wrote a blog post on the AWS open source blog about the origins of CDK, why it was created, and how it came to be, and all that kind of stuff. Really good post.
Do you want to show it? Where is it?
Yeah, I'll try and find it actually and share it in the link. Actually, let's see if I can find it.
If you find it, I will also share it later as a social media post as well.
Yeah, let's have a look.
By the way, maybe I should have worn this, during the live stream.
What?
This is the medal from my half marathon.
Oh yeah, man, you should definitely wear that.
No, I will wear the one from full marathon in September. That's for sure.
Definitely. So I'm just sharing the link there. Okay, if people want to know, about the origins of CDK, that's basically a blog post that I did. I was very fortunate to spend some time with Elad. And it's fascinating, actually, both from the point of view of really showing how working backwards works in reality, and how understanding and trying to address pain points from developers leads to something cool like this. Because it is pretty much the standard way we deliver tech in AWS, right? When I look at our internal code repos, it's full of custom constructs and stacks. Again, all of it pretty much TypeScript. So it's a really good learning platform to find out how actually to do it properly, because these teams have been deep in it for years.
Yeah, I think the main exciting part, I would say, is like sometimes we are seen as like, they're just doing it for the sake of their products and so on. But actually, there are a lot of tools that is allowing you to build as well.
Yeah, and actually, the CDK kind of broader kind of like community have created a whole bunch of additional tools, right? That kind of like build on top of this. I have featured many of those in the open source newsletter that I ran for the last sort of 3 or 4 years. So check that out, because there might be a tool that if you're using CDK or just starting, that might be useful for you. And I especially like some of the security, the shift left security and compliance tools that you can implement with CDK directly in the code, right, to enforce your compliance rules, to make sure that your stack is meeting your requirements. I think that's nice as well.
Yeah, exactly. For your like for enterprise level uh, implementation today, because like sometimes like even in last Saturday when I was talking about AWS, I was like, they were asking about security and so on. Like being secure by design is something that we take for granted, I think, but actually like security is a like seriously big investment that
Yeah, and I think
uh,
this is why CDK actually does make a difference in that it does have some really good defaults for that.
yeah,
Especially with that, the L2 and L3 constructs, right? They do kind of bake those good practices in, so you don't have to even think about them, right? Which
yeah,
could be a good or bad thing, right? Because if you don't think about them, then you just forget.
yeah. By the way, I got
Is
one
it
of
done?
these. It's doing the last deployment for front end. I got one of these pens to be able to draw properly, like at least
Oh,
closer to normal.
so are we saying
And
that your hexagons are going to be more like hexagons now?
yeah, let me try.
Oh
Is it
man, this
is
makes me
it
happy.
me? Is it me or is it the let's see. Wow, okay.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm
this is
I'm
good.
I'm I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Oh
hey,
man,
hey,
look at
hey,
that,
it's
man.
still
That is
hard
just
to get used
that's
to
the thing.
it, but
That's the thing of beauty. That's the thing of beauty.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
finally,
what pen have you got? What did you go for in the end?
I got the Wacom. What was it?
Yeah,
Uh, I forgot the
the
model's name.
Syntac HD or the Wacom Bamboo or the Wacom One.
Uh, why is it not showing? It's. I will check it from my email address. It's easier.
You probably have a driver. Your driver will tell you on your
Yeah,
Mac what it
it's
is,
the
what the device is.
Wacom Intuos Pro.
Oh, nice. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I got a good tip for you, right?
Yeah,
There is an open source uh, driver for Wacom and actually other tablets as well. It's called the Open Tablet Driver,
yeah,
and you can basically, yeah. So if you do that and then GitHub, actually, so there it is, and it works on Macs and.
yeah,
Because I have two old tablets, right? I have a Bamboo, which is ancient, but it's very simple, and I
yeah,
also have a Wacom Santac, which is effectively a screen, right? It's a
yeah,
screen with the pencil.
yeah,
But unbelievably, neither of them have drivers for the Mac, right? And so you install this, okay, and it just works. And it's just really it's a fantastic piece of software. So you definitely need that if you're running any kind of tablet. It's updated all the time, has legacy as well as new tablets, and provides a better experience than the actual native tool. So something for you to check out there, Sally, after this stream.
I will say thank you. I need to get you. I need to get used to it. I need to get used to it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
You know what we
But
need though is we need
yeah,
so here's the thing, Sally, right? Maybe
yeah,
maybe our next vibing,
yeah,
maybe our next vibing session, we need to create a online tool that allows you and me both to have pens and
yeah.
scribble at the same time, right?
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we should do that. We should so build that, right? Because you got a
yeah,
pen, I've got a pen, and we need to be
yeah,
doodling together. I want to play noughts and crosses, right? Tic tac
yeah.
toe.
I was going to
With
say it
you.
would be a crazy good thing to build a game around this as well.
We should so do that. We should so do that.
Yeah. All right. So it says everything is fine.
Oh,
So
it does now. Okay, well,
I,
we'll be the
I,
judge of that.
I will believe in that when I see it. I'm sorry, but
Oh, okay.
we
Well,
will
that's a good
make do
start.
here. Yeah. Man. Oh, okay, okay,
Oh my
okay,
goodness.
okay, okay. We
Okay.
use real backend on a real
Yeah.
deployed application.
Through
That's
CloudFront.
what's up. Come on.
CloudFront for the win.
Come on, folks. Come on. So I will play the game now. I will say uh, runner. Why not?
Yeah.
And this is it. The questions are TypeScript. And avatar is this. Let's play. All right. So if I
Okay.
do this,
Looking.
I think it should have been okay. So let's see with the hard question. What? Oh, luckily it keeps the state because we
Yeah.
fixed problems
Yeah.
like
We
this
fixed that.
already.
What is AWS Stack Functions primary? So is this a hard question?
I mean, maybe it's hard for some people.
Okay.
But
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
it's A, right? It would be funny if I said like
It is
if
A.
I
It is
answered
A.
it wrong. So let's do another hard one. AWS Lambda functions
That's a
often
coding
receive
question.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Okay. So now this is interesting because this is interesting because that
This is a
looks.
hard one.
Yeah, but this looks like. So here's the thing, Sally. Right.
Yeah.
The Java questions tended to look like this. AWS Lambda function often receive events as JSON. Well, let's try writing this in TypeScript, right? Let's use Kiro to try and write some code for this.
Yeah, I'm using Cure CLI now.
Okay.
So it says this. Do you think it will work?
Well, we'll soon find out, won't we?
Yes. Okay, this is something that we will change. Incorrect answer.
Oh.
Oh, no. Ooh la la. Should we check if there are any? Where is this here? No, that is not. Are we going to see something? I know. All right, so I will say, where are you? This was wrong. You should be ashamed.
Don't shame our AI overlords.
Yeah. No.
I'm just wondering because obviously we've redeployed the backend, right? Should we remember what we did on the last episode? We actually SSH'd into the EC2 instance, and actually what we did is we went into the backend API and tested it on the backend UI, didn't we? So
let's
now that we
go to the backend API.
Well, what I was just thinking, we don't actually need to do that now, do we? Because we've got access. Yeah, so we've got the access here to the API. So if this is definitely the backend, right, on CloudFront.
Yes.
So let's test the question. Let's find that question.
What was the name of the question? It's the AWS Lambda functions often receive. All right.
Oh gosh.
This doesn't work. So we have to find it.
Yeah. Oh no.
All right. I will use my spider senses to do.
We do need better filtering on this, don't we?
Yeah. We need definitely. I mean, like, I think we need to, let's write it down before we forget. Show a loading state while waiting for answer to the questions. I'm just writing down. Like,
yeah.
By the way, we have technically, let me refresh this.
Oh, filter.
Yeah, we have filter here already.
Okay, yeah,
we don't have it in your amazing Bootstrap thing, but we do have it over here, you know.
So if you go to edit, if you edit the question.
Yes.
It does say TypeScript there. Okay, so
yeah. There's no correct answer here.
No, it's fine. Correct answers are only provided for the other two types of questions.
All right.
Not for coding questions.
All right.
The coding questions use the sample input and hidden input to validate the code that's generated. So this is definitely TypeScript. So we need to.
It seems like it is doing the right thing. Like
This is why I'm wondering whether the maybe the container images. That's why if we go to the backend API, we need to test the evaluation engine in from the backend API.
Oh no, I need to find it here. Okay. AWS Lambda function. There we go. Did you see it? Did you see how fast I found it?
You were quick, man. Right.
Yeah.
So now put the same. Yeah. Put the same.
Same answer here. Submit.
Okay, so now let's go. Let's go to the console and SSH into the system. Although what we could do is we could try and find. We could test the Python one. If you go to and try a different coding question, try one of the simple ones where we've got Python a plus b. That one.
This one, right?
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. So equals a plus b plus c. Let's see what happens here. So that works. Okay, so we know that the Python the Python one works. Let's see if we can find a simple TypeScript example.
But this was a simple one as well. This is the thing. Like, let me see. You have. We don't see the language about.
No, you only see that when you actually in the question editor. So that's again, that's something else we should fix, right?
Yeah, please. So, given a list of numbers, find this. No, this is. Implement a piece bus for a single number.
I mean, I can try and find if I get the back end up and running on my machine. I can try. Actually, no, there's no point. Give the list of numbers a second. Okay.
We can actually check from the questions and let's say.
Yes, you can. That's right.
Categories, coding, easy. And
so given 3 variables, write code, so the result equals the sum of 3 numbers. So that one, okay, is that's a Python one, right? Okay.
And this is also Python. Let's see, for example, it is TypeScript. Check if a number is even or odd. All right, but this is a correct answer. Maybe that's why. You know?
No, so that gets ignored. Okay. It should do it. That field should get ignored.
Let's find it. Check if a number is even or odd here. So this is the right answer.
Yeah, so that tells me that the container image for the TypeScript and the maybe the Java is probably not running or not working.
Okay.
The evaluation. So what we need to do is SSH into the machine and have a look at the container images.
Let's go. Dashboard. Where's my instance? Yes. No, not this one. Oh, okay. This was. I forgot to kill this.
Is that which one's? Oh, okay. That's a different thing, is it? Right.
No. This the one we have is like over here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then connect. You click on connect at the top.
Yeah.
And then through the SSH session manager. SSH session manager.
Session manager.
No. Okay.
No, I'm not clicking.
Keep going up. Down. That's it there. No, you. Where it says SSM session manager. That's what you want to do.
Okay. Okay.
And then connect, and then click on connect. That's the easiest way of connecting it.
All right.
And then when it comes up, you need to do the sudo su. So sudo.
Is it
the command? So space. Well, no. So sudo su space hyphen.
Yeah.
Space Ubuntu.
Okay.
That's it. Right. So now we should go to the. So I think it's in OPT directory. I think that's where it stores everything.
Okay. Then PT.
/opt. You need to do /opt.
Okay.
Not.
Yeah, I understand. Jesus Christ, my brain is.
It's the keyboard. That's what it is. It's the keyboard mappings, right? So now in here, you should. There's the app source should be here, right? And including the script. So what we want to do is we want to basically, in the game engine, we want to basically find out and run the build container image thing to see if it actually works.
What do you want me to do again?
I think is it evaluations or services evaluation sandbox? I think that's where it was.
I think it was in.
Maybe it's in scripts. No, it's in source. It's in
source, and then from there it's
services. I think
services, exactly.
Services, and then evaluation, and then evaluation. I think in here.
Come on. It's the sandbox here.
Sandbox. Yeah, it's in here, and it's a script which is basically build images. So now all you're going to just do /build images.
Yeah. Permission denied.
Okay.
Why?
So that it will be because you're not running as root. So now do sudo space / build images.
Yeah. Easy. So
Yeah,
easy.
But
Yeah.
this is these are now going to be running as so the images are built now. Yeah. Design. So if you because I think we've got Finch installed, haven't we? So if you do Finch space VM space status. Oh, so it hasn't actually got Finch. Finch is not installed.
What? Maybe that's why.
But it worked before though, didn't it? It worked.
Look, it says like Finch VM. So it says like unknown command Docker VM. Huh?
Just type in Finch then. Just type Finch in and see what happens. So it's actually installed.
Yeah, but it's super funny. Like use
it says Docker. It says options Docker.
I will say that. I will ask this.
So okay, so that means the build, the pipeline build, is messed up somewhere.
I think it is. How do you call it? Like it is mapping Finch into Docker now, because
which is okay. And that's all right because Finch command parameters are apart with the exception of build X, they're compatible, right? So it should work. What we need to do though is we need to check to see if I mean, this is interesting, isn't it? Because we didn't have this problem before, right? When we tried it before, we were able to get this up and running because we tested the TypeScript and we tested Python. Actually, that's an interesting one. The Python worked.
Maybe we got lucky.
Yeah, that's one. I mean, but the evaluation engine runs. I tell you what we need to do is let's this is. I tell you what we can do is let's ask Kiro from the Kiro session because it knows the code.
Yeah.
Let's ask it. How can we test the container images on the EC2 instance from a connected SSH instance?
Why we're not asking? Why are you like aliasing Finch instead of installing it?
Yeah, well, let's see if let's just give it a broad stroke to begin with, and see if it discovers that. Because obviously it's got the pipeline, right? So we probably need to make sure it looks at the stacks. Hopefully it's actually interesting. It's not. It's just looking straight at the code.
Yeah,
which is kind of annoying. So it's although it has given us some stuff, right? We can work with.
Yeah, but it says like Finch images, grab quest sandbox. Finch.
So let's try that. Let's actually run that command. The Finch images in the console and see what happens. But
you mean here, right?
Yeah, but what? Yeah, so it's fine. Yeah.
Permission denied. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So the image is there. Okay. So what we should say is that let's say for example we're getting the evaluation isn't working. We're getting the permission denied error because it could well be that the reason why this is not working is because it's getting permission denied every single time the evaluation engine is trying to run. Because I'm pretty sure if we look at the Docker file, the game engine is not running with root privilege. So what we should say is review the deployment pipeline or deployment stack, the EC2 stack.
And make sure the commands doesn't require.
Well, so what I was going to say is that what we want to do is we want that error message from the console. We want to copy that error message, right? So if you can put that in the clipboard, the error message you got there, which is that one there.
Yeah.
and basically say review the EC2 stack because when the evaluator is currently running, we think that it is generating this error. Yeah, exactly. I think this.
Well, you know, I have to be honest with my AI. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
But in the meantime, I want to test this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Let's do it. Hello from
yeah, so that
Python
works.
sandbox.
Can you do
Alright.
the TypeScript one as well?
Yeah, I will. Now it's Java. It's like permission denied.
That's because you had multiple commands and you only
Yeah.
and it didn't do the first bit right. So
Yeah.
so you have to write the file first before you do it.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
that's it. That's what you have to do.
Yeah. So sudo do. The next one is bam.
That's TypeScript. That's a TypeScript one, right? So
One. Okay, because I copied the wrong one. Genius. Permission denied.
you
Sudo.
forgot sudo.
Yeah. Okay, it
There you go.
works.
So
In
now
the
just
meantime, it actually answered the question and implemented stuff.
so what's it? Let's have a look.
What are you doing? We
What did
can
it say?
always restore.
I see the
All
issue.
right.
I see the
All
issue.
right. So let me
I
check
like
how
that.
the game engine runs. Which
Even though
is
the
blah, blah,
service
blah.
runs as root, the Docker socket permissions might not be the problem per se. Let's me look more.
I see the issue. The system service runs as
Which
should have
but the
Docker
runner
access.
calls Finch, and the Finch alias points to Docker.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the Finch symlink is created during and after install, which runs as root. Okay. So I'm guessing does this mean it's making has it updated the what's it actually doing? Wait, let me see.
It is doing it like now. It is thinking like.
Because I thought it was okay. Use root. Okay, so let's have a look. Let me check. Oh, so it does that. Okay, so this only creates a symlink. But we know Finch is linking to the problem is Finch is linking to Docker, right? Which is not what we want. Because we wanted to install Finch, not for it to install Docker and then symlink Finch, right? We want actually the other way around. We want to actually install Finch and then symlink Docker to Finch. But why is it done that now? So, but the EC2 that you there tries to install Finch from GitHub. If that left the broken binary and path command, would find it and skip the symlink, and the broken Finch would fail with socket since it doesn't use Docker's daemon. So the fix has 3 layers: change to check Finch version, actually test which Finch works, not just exist. Then chmod the Docker socket, which is fine. And then you need to trigger a new pipeline deployment.
Should I ask my question to it? Why is Finch is linking Docker?
Yeah, okay, so let's do that. Yeah, okay.
You're right. I don't want to be right.
Okay, so it's interesting. It says the installation method is flawed. It downloads a tarball from GitHub, but Finch for Linux isn't distributed that way. Finch on Linux needs to be installed properly. Okay, well, that's okay. So let's have a look at the link repo because I run it on Mac. So
All right.
so let's run Finch on installation on Linux. It should be basically actually
Amazon Linux.
yeah, it should be basically a sudo install. This is effectively the command that basically so I'm gonna put this in the chat. This is the command. Yeah, you've got it there. You've got it there. Brilliant.
Okay.
So it should be and we're running. Yeah. So that's what Kira should be doing.
So Kira is removing the Docker socket.
Yeah, since Finch uses its own runtime container D, not the Docker daemon, which is correct.
Here's the summary. The old user data try to install Finch by downloading a tarball from GitHub releases.
So what you can put, because you've got it still in your clipboard, Sally, what you can put in saying that from the Finch docs, this is the recommended way of installation. Can you confirm that?
Yeah.
No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. No. Go down, scroll down, because we're on Ubuntu, we're on Amazon Linux. So it's the bit below. That's that bit there.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all right.
All right. We are all friends here. This is a safe space.
It is a safe space. Yeah.
From the from the Finch docs, I see the following is the way to install. Can you confirm you did that?
Yeah, nice one.
You're using that, yeah. All right.
Let's see what it says now.
Let me verify. Sure.
Why couldn't it verify the first time, eh? Why can't I just do this in the first instance? Oh yeah, look, exactly the same commands. Now, actually, one of the things, Sally, with the we didn't do, which we could have done, is there is a Finch MCP server, and I find that actually having that available when I'm working with Finch is a game changer, right? But we don't need it now. We've done it.
Yeah,
so
I don't do much container stuff, right? Like I've started to write some, but super basic things for Dart backends, but like I'm not a container.
So we need to go to the code pipelines UI in the console now and trigger a deploy.
I would just say trigger deploy.
Oh, okay. Let's see if we can do it from here.
Yeah, of course. When you believe, everything is possible.
I believe. I'm a believer.
Yeah. So trigger deploy for these changes. So right now we will see backend deployment, and that's it. We don't need a front end deployment, right?
We don't need a front end deployment. No, we don't need a front end deployment. Exactly. So
everything will be all right.
But yeah, so what's happening is that because we've updated the EC2 stack in CDK, that should just update the stack. But remember, it's not going to actually do a deployment because the deployment's triggered on the actual source code changing, and we've not changed the source code. So so it's likely that even if we make this change, what will happen is nothing. It won't change until we trigger a manual update of the pipeline.
All right.
If that makes sense. But we have to wait. We have to wait for this update anyway first, because
also once this is done and working, like after we clean everything up and redeploy, we also make sure everything is automated. We want to be sure that whatever we are doing,
I mean, this does raise an interesting, I guess, point, Sally. What we probably should have done, because this is probably the highest risk from a working perspective. We should probably define some integration tests that we can implement so that when it deploys, it validates the container, the evaluator effectively, to make sure it's working, right? So maybe have 3 questions, 1 Python, 1 Java, 1 TypeScript, that we can do through the API that triggers the evaluator, and then basically that would fire off the actual evaluation engine, and if it was working, we'd get the expected response, right? And we could trigger it for both correct answers and failures, so we get both basically the right and wrong answers with the expected behavior. So I think that's probably a learning that we we talk about this in previous episodes, Sally, whereby we would be basically using a lot of the learning we're doing with the vibe coding sessions to influence how we would build this properly, right? I think that's a key learning from this, I think.
One thing that I envision about this is right now it is still a lot of manual like manual hand holding and so on and so forth that is happening here. But like for me, I really want to focus on like I want to have like three different repositories, right? And if there is
We
a,
can't keep you away from your pen now.
like I have it, and they are like I need to use it so I can get better at it.
No, it's good, man. I'm a big believer. So
Yeah,
you carry on using it.
yeah,
Oh, that's
and
a beautiful square.
yeah, it's now it is getting better. So like this is, for example, the backend app, this is the infrastructure, and this is the front end. And whenever there's a change, I really want to be able to trigger this pipeline in a way that it would actually get the changes. Like it would just compare what has changed and only deploy
So
whatever it is needed. Yeah.
okay, so if we want to do that, then what
Yeah.
we have to do is we have to put the stacks in a Git repo, and then what we do is we make changes to the stack, and because that then triggers a change in the Git repo, that
Yeah.
will trigger a separate pipeline,
Yeah.
which will do all that, right? So effectively, what you're talking about there is effectively having two pipelines: an infrastructure pipeline and an application pipeline.
What if I change the infrastructure that needs to redeploy a front end and back end?
But that's okay, because remember, if we make a change to only one of the stacks, when it goes through the pipeline, CDK is going to know only to change one piece, right? So it's smart enough to know. So we don't have to worry about that piece, right? So as long as we've got one repo where we have the CDK stacks effectively,
Yeah.
if we make one change that only requires one stack update, CDK will do that during the build process. And then when we make a code change, because the code change doesn't necessarily need an infrastructure change, right? All that's going to do is do the pipeline for the redeployment piece. That's why
Yeah.
we keep them separate.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make
So
sense? Or
yeah, yeah.
am I talking nonsense?
No. It makes sense. I mean, you see the infrastructure pipeline as like part of these two already.
I mean,
I see
I've
it.
done quite a bit
Yeah.
of this in the past, right?
Yeah.
And normally with Kubernetes infrastructure as well. So with Kubernetes infrastructure, I actually sometimes have multiple pipelines. So a good example, I did a talk a few years ago on, I think it was like 5 ways to deploy Apache Airflow, right? And the kind of building from source one, the first pipeline was taking the Git repo from Airflow and then packaging up your own Airflow container image. The second pipeline was building effectively the EKS infrastructure. And then the third deployment was then deploying the application onto your EKS infrastructure, right? And the rationale is thinking about the kind of like the separation of concerns, right? And also the kind of like the, I guess, the operational kind of like I don't know what the word is, but when I what I like to do is I like to draw, right, architect or a system.
Me too. See?
Yeah, exactly. And then I put who needs to make a change to what, right? And then I then ask questions like, well, okay, how often are they going to need to make changes? And are those changes infrastructure, application, or something else? And what you'll find, okay, is very similar to D3, right? Domain-driven design.
Yeah.
Is you start to have bounded contexts around what these things are, and who. Oh, excuse me, I've got hiccups.
No worries.
Who owns them, right? Who is the person that kicks off the changes? The impact of those changes, right? So a good example is that I might want to update an Apache Airflow container image, right? But that shouldn't affect any current deployments, right? So there's a boundary there, right? I can create new container images, I can publish them to ECR, but in the infrastructure then that deploys it, I want to pin my container image to a ECR container image URI. So I've got control from my perspective, and I can have multiple different infrastructures with different versions of those containers, right? So, and that's because I'm operating at a different layer. I'm now deploying Airflow, right? And then I might use a reusable pattern from the infrastructure team, so the container team, and they'll give me their patterns, their EKS patterns. and they might have different versions of that, right, based on what you need. So there's 3 different groups, and that's how I basically came up with 3 different segments. And you can dice this as much as you need, basically. But the key thing is to think about that up front before you start designing this. So if we wanted to do this, Sally, if we wanted to kind of like, rather than you triggering the update on your laptop, we could do it that way. But I think for the purposes of this stream, I think we're in a good place.
Yeah, I think so too. Like from my side, the important point is automation, right? Like I really don't want my flows to just wait for me to manually do something. Like everything that we do here, like with, for example, I already see the problem. Like with the front end is already requiring me to do manually, and I want this to be smart enough. Like basically, yeah, I know like this was a very stupid thing, but like seriously, when you look from the perspective, like I have this project, right? And this project, let's say like this is the backend one. If something changes here, I want this to be able to have the impact of anything related to it. So for example, front end here is basically communicating with it, right? And they know about each other.
Yeah.
And if there's a change, it needs to be addressed here. If there's a new service, it needs to be addressed here. And
so that's where you got type coupling is effectively what you're saying, right? So where there's a dependency on one change to another, that's where you think about the fact that that you would probably put them together.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Front end and back end, they have to be coupled. They need to work together. So the change here is the change here is reflected into the pipeline, right? Pipeline, and the pipeline will change the front end as well. Like this is what I have been seeing as well. And
I see what you're saying. So okay, so here's the thing, right? So
yeah,
what you're saying is that the output of so when we do the back end, the output is the URI, okay, the URI, the CloudFront URI, which we want to configure as an environment variable, okay, into the front end, okay.
Yeah.
So you can do that. You can do that within pipeline. You can configure environment variables that are generated from one step of the pipeline to another.
Yeah.
So you can totally do that.
Also, what I see it as, like, let's again think it like this. All right, so this is
but
the.
I think we're talking about 2 different things though, right? Because
Okay.
when
Yeah.
when you when we deploy the backend stack, right, that CloudFront distribution is not going to change, right, at all until you make a change to the stack, right, which is not going to happen very frequently, right? Potentially.
Yeah.
You might have more changes to the front end, okay? So then you need to think about, okay, what are the mechanisms? So one of the mechanisms I've seen a lot of people use is AWS parameter store, where effectively what happens is that the output of the build step, the backend build step, will publish the CloudFront URI to a parameter store, a secret store, whatever you want to do, right? And then the build step for the front end picks that up from that parameter store and always uses that. That way you decouple your front end and your back end, right? And so that's probably the way that I would do it, right? I wouldn't I would basically publish the output of your front end, a back end, to a shared repository, so that any multiple deploys to the front end will always pick up that same one. That way, if you can deploy independently and not have to worry about any integration, tightly coupled integration that might cause problems, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I do it. That's how I've done it in the past, and it's a pretty solid approach, well supported by code pipeline, code build, to pick up environment variables through the actual configuration.
Okay.
I've actually got quite a few repos actually I can share with you. I created a multi-architecture a container deployment pipeline that does effectively for a container image, ECS and EKS, allows you to do x86 and ARM. But I implemented a lot of these kind of like best practices in that. So I've got some code. If people are interested, I can post that on the notes for the YouTube post. So what has it
So
finished?
right now, so what I'm doing is so like here. Okay, first of all, to answer everything, it's not an if, it's a when question. So when we do it, we will do it together. So
Yeah. No, it's cool, man.
all these learnings we will do it for sure, because I really don't want to do manual stuff, because
Yeah.
even right now it says like, you see, we already did a new deployment, but it says like, you need to do some change in the code deploy to make sure this is shown as sort of like in game engine. But I don't want to. I want this changes to be effective immediately, part of whatever flow that I have.
That doesn't
So
make that doesn't make sense actually, Sally. What's there? Oh no, it does make sense because we created a pipeline for this. So if we go to the co-pipeline then,
yeah,
so yeah, so effectively what you can do is you can go back to, actually if you go to pipelines or go to that one, you should be able to trigger where is it? Release change. If you click on release change, right hand side.
should I do it? All right.
Yeah, click on that.
All right. Okay. Hey, if it breaks, I will cry. All right.
But this is effectively building everything from scratch now, right? So this is the only way to test it. We will get new URIs, and so it's interesting. What probably, again, another learning from going through this process, Sally, to make it more a stronger pipeline. What we should do is the deploy step.
Yeah.
We should, as part of the deploy step, we should add a step to publish the CloudFront URI to a secrets or parameter store, and also publish that as an output, because you can actually see the outputs of these, right? And that will actually then allow you to then pick that up in a subsequent step. So
yeah, that is another. But I think this is more on the pipeline phase that we might be doing later.
Yeah, we don't need to do that now because we're doing it manually. But again, we would, if we were doing this, like if we were taking our time and doing it, in a more structured way, drawing this out using your beautiful drawing skills and your pen.
Next time I will get better. Okay, next time.
Hey, no, you're good, man. The important thing is you're doing it right. That's look, it's done. It's
all right.
So if we go to the ECT console now and yeah, we need to terminate that. Yeah. And go back to
where is EC2? Not over here. Let me go back. Yeah, I could have searched for it as well, but
it's all right.
Instances. Yes.
Connect.
Yes, connect here.
That's it.
This one, connect. Dun, 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 dun. What was it? Sudo
space. And then I go back, sudo space su space hyphen space Ubuntu. Okay, now go to the OPT directory and actually what we can do the Finch VM status and command.
Yeah.
Actually, what
the hell?
What? Just type in Finch. Just type in Finch to see what happens.
But it's still Docker.
Yeah. Okay. So it's still not doing it. It's still.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we need to do is we need to debug the user data. But Sally, I'm just conscious of time. It's coming up to 2 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. your time.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
So how are you for time?
Do
we need to wrap things up and then basically we'll fix this in the next episode?
The thing is, we have to.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I really want to ask, why do I still see the following? Just answer. I'm very curious. Because user data only runs on first boot. Your existing EC2 instances was created with the old user data. The updated APT install is a new user, but it won't apply until blah, blah, blah. You either need to SSH in and run the Finch APT commands manually or terminate and recreate.
Okay. Right.
I think we will terminate and recreate next time.
Yeah. I think. I mean, what we could do actually is we could delete the stacks, right?
Yeah.
We could delete the stacks and start from scratch, and
Yeah.
and go from there. So, folks, just to wrap things up for this episode of Full Stack for Noobs, we
Yeah.
thought we were going to get everything ready today.
Oh my God.
But
That
it's
was hard.
okay.
That was
It's all right,
hard.
Sally. It's all right, Sally,
But
because I think what we've discovered a weakness, okay, in
yeah.
the in the pipeline, and that's all, and that's a good thing.
So, do you want to do one tomorrow? How is it like? Because on
Yeah, let me just check. I think tomorrow
yeah,
could be good.
Thursday won't work for me, and Friday is a public holiday. So,
Yeah, so tomorrow works great for me.
all right,
So let's do tomorrow. So, folks, we'll be
yeah,
back tomorrow,
yes,
where
sir.
we will definitely get this thing working.
Yeah, we have to, like the pressure is
Yeah,
real.
the pressure's ramping up, but we will get it working.
Yeah,
So don't worry, we will get
yeah.
it working by hook or by
So,
crook.
all right. So
Okay,
tomorrow,
folks.
same time,
See you
and
tomorrow.
great to see you all, folks. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.